mountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single. All things by a law divine. In one another we mingle. Why not I with I, not I with thine?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex,
My name is Jeremy.
and welcome to Pianolin TV. Today, we have a special guest with us today. Her name is Dr. Michelle Ding. Please welcome her to our Pianolin TV podcast / YouTube. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Jeremy.
It's
Hello.
so great to see you and have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure, always.
You seem like you're in a very, very good mood today.
Oh, of course. You know, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. Happy Easter!
Yes, it's spring season. So Michelle here is a concert pianist and opera singer, known for her versatility performing in both mediums. It's so, I think for me, it's quite rare to have both majored in piano and vocal studies, especially when you have a doctorate.
Oh, you
That-
can do it. You're just being humble.
No, it's actually that's actually a lot of dedication that you've done. Both, I'm a concert pianist and Jeremy is a violinist, and we know like focusing on one instrument is very, very time consuming, but you also added on top of it being a vocalist.
Right, and I only have one degree, and Alex is going for and even
Jeremy,
one
are
degree.
you being humble too? You guys need to stop being humble, okay?
But one
Well,
degree even took me 6 years, so I can't imagine doing 3.
Yeah, having those degrees, you have completed your study. You're now out of school, right?
Yeah, I'm out of school.
Oh.
Finally! Oh, I'm just kidding.
Jeremy is also out of school.
Right, I'm done.
I'm the only
Ooh.
one. I'm the only one in school. So I'm like trying to, getting used to adult life, but also still be in the school mode.
Which year are you? Are you senior?
Me? No, I'm I'm actually a doctorate. I'm in my 3rd year.
3rd year. So you're getting out of there. Just kidding.
Hoping soon. But back to you, Michelle. This is not about me, and this is not about Jeremy. We're really excited to have you today, and you've done so much. Even since COVID-19 has hit, right? You've joined the QuaranTeam, organized by University of Michigan State University and University of Colorado. You're like going everywhere. You're like spread out, and it's so cool to see, how successful you've been after graduating. And I'm pretty sure there's more to it, but I'll let you talk about it. What you've been doing, these past couple of months.
Okay. Yes. Then I'm gonna just focus talking about quarantine. I think when the COVID broke out, the music industry was like urgently need lots of help. And there's a huge demand, a high demand for online teaching, stuff like that. And lots of performance and concerts, recitals got canceled, which is heartbroken. I was busted. I think I have 2 concerts got canceled. But then on the flip side, I take it as the opportunity. Like it's our time to serve the community. We can actually use our knowledge, our skill to serve the community by just bringing everything online. I feel like before that, and I didn't think about it, or I just didn't take the time to study those like social media things and those e-commerce, all kinds of stuff. And also about such as like programming, data science, all those things. But then when the COVID happened, I feel like it's the time to study what needs to be studied. And then I'm going to use this skill to help whoever needs it. And that has been the purpose and my goal since it's almost a year, over a year. Yep.
Right. Well, that's so beautifully explained. And Michelle, COVID has really pushed, many people, especially musicians, to go beyond their boundaries. And it's quite challenging at times, right? It's not very easy.
No.
And, we've talked about in our last episode about stress, me and Jeremy, and how that accumulates. But if you're able to, handle that in a positive way, it just opens up new worlds. And but also, being just a successful musician as you are, there are times when other people may see that and they may get jealous, which is today's topic. And I'm so happy that you're able to, discuss this with us. The topic of jealousy is quite contagious, right? The more successful you are and the more things that you can provide for people, other people may see that as an opportunity to get revenge or something to bring you down because they don't see you as a bright light. They may want to dim that light so they themselves then can be
scary. Yes.
Yeah, it's quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
So Michelle, what really is, can you explain what causes the jealousy amongst people?
First of all, I study emotional balance. Like it didn't come out from nowhere. Like I want to be a mindful person and a person in balance. So this is something I study by myself besides music. And emotional balance is one subject that's probably gonna help everybody. And then, so in this topic of emotional balance, we wanna have a time with ourselves. I feel like being a musician, we're like the giver. We wanna play good music to give out to our people, like give it to the audience, to teacher, to students. We're such a good person. And we practice hours and hours, day and night. We keep thinking about we're such a good giver. But at the same time, I feel like we need to work on to be a taker sometimes. And for the meaning of taker, I think it's the time to be with ourselves, like how we feel at the moment. Sometimes we need to do this affirmation. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm stressed. These are all good affirmations that you can talk to yourself. And in the topic of emotional balance, the first step is to evaluate safety. I feel like when it comes to jealousy, we don't feel safe. We feel insecure or we feel anxious. That's what I think about it. So I think like jealousy is part of the negativity side.
Right.
And I think everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to embrace the good things in life. But then sometimes we can't control when the negativity came out from nowhere. It could be just, oh, I ate something that's yucky. Oh, this drink is disgusting. Or this music just makes me sick. Those moments. And then if we're not conscious enough, those moments is gonna eat our good spirit. And then negativity will come out. So in the prospect of emotional study, we wanna be conscious In other words, we want to raise our awareness of our own feeling. And it's hard because we've been a very good giver, practice hard, performing for different kinds of people and getting criticism and keep practicing it to make it even better. So the self-time, the self-talk, or even meditation is the quiet time or the most valuable time that we can reward ourselves. And during those quiet time, I will evaluate what triggers me into negative moods. For example, that I just talked about. Maybe this morning I wear a dress that's, that's not very pretty enough.
Totally fine. This is live. It's totally fine. It's live.
And then when I go home, I will think about it. Oh, I regretted that I wear this dress. Then you see, that's the moment when negativity comes out. When this happens, we want to take a pause. And then we want to have a conversation with ourselves. I'm not feeling safe right now. I want to give myself a moment to be happy again. Those kind of moments, quiet time, will help us prevent negativity, such as jealousy, come out.
Wow, that is beautifully said. Jeremy, I'll let you take the hosting for a bit.
Okay. Well, yes, I agree. Well, jealousy. There's a lot of negative parts of jealousy, but I feel maybe in music, in the music world, jealousy is. I wouldn't say it's positive, but you can use it positively.
That's critical understanding. I love it. Right. Keep going.
And then, but you see, like, I guess you're always gonna. Well, I think when you're trying to work at achieving something, I feel it's always better to have people. It's not good to be at the bottom, but it's always good to be in the middle, because then you always are motivated. If you're always at the top, you lose that motivation. But if you see people above you and you are around those kind of people, of course you're gonna get jealous, but it's gonna motivate you to work harder, I think. And
yeah, that's great, Jeremy. We're all learning around here, and what Michelle said is so important for people to really know how to use that jealousy and turn it into something good, as Jeremy said. Being in the middle or being at the bottom, being at the top, it varies depending on the people that you're surrounding with, right? It really varies because each one has their own unique personality, their own unique talents, and not one person cannot be exactly copy and paste of the other person. And what I love most is Michelle, you're so I don't know, you're like full of energy, right? I feel like you're even more energy combined with me and Jeremy. You're so exuberant and you're so positive. And that's what I really admire about you. And I'm probably very excited to have you be able to talk about jealousy, because I can't see you you're being that such a successful person overall. And you probably have experienced jealousy. No one has not experienced jealousy, of course, but you turned it into something positive, and you always look forward to helping others. That's what we musicians are really here for, not just to play for ourselves, but to share the music to our audiences and help inspire them to positivity.
So true. Yeah, something I want to echo Jeremy, like turning jealousy into motivation. This is something I actually read about. Like there's a concept called 4 C's of mental toughness. You can Google it online. I think it's online. 4 C's of mental toughness or mental health armor. One of them, I believe they are confidence, challenge, control, and what's the last one? I forgot the last one. Okay, just 3 C's. But anyways, so I think it can really make the alignment with musicians' toolkit. Like for confidence, how do you gain confidence? Muscle memory, keep practicing. And how do you gain control? You study yourself. You study your emotion, you control your emotion, you control your nervousness on the stage fright, and then you control your jealousy to others, everything. And then the challenge is something that's gonna be so crucial. Like we can always take challenge as an opportunity. It's the opportunity for us to be resilient. And there's a psychologist, her name is Brené Brown. 5 years ago, I read a book called The Power of Vulnerability. We always feel vulnerable when we have those negativity come to us, whatever jealousy or fear or like disappointment, grief, all kinds of things. They are part of vulnerability. But Brené Brown has this very nice saying. I would like to quote her right here. She said, vulnerability is not fear, grief, or disappointment. It's the birthplace of everything we're hungry for. I think her saying, when I saw this quote, it literally blew my mind. I was like, this is the perfect example to manipulate something that could just bring us down from heaven to hell to something that's so powerful that can pull us up.
Wow, you should be a motivational speaker, Michelle. I feel like I'm being motivated here, and I can learn so many valuable lessons in life from you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so happy that I could bring something meaningful to this conversation.
So Michelle, you also, I'm sorry,
right.
Go ahead.
I think right, we didn't hear your point of view on jealousy yet.
Oh yeah, Alex, your turn.
My point on jealousy, asking the host to have some jealousy. Okay, so I don't have any degree or any certification in jealousy, but in my own experience, I have experienced jealousy a lot, myself and also with my friends, my colleagues. And what I've learned is you have to take it slowly at a time, and being able to channel your jealousness into something positive is always what I'm looking for. Jealousy can sometimes motivate you to do something better, to do better than your colleagues. It pushes you. And I feel like being in a conservatory in my undergrad, I've learned that the most difficult way. I was a very friendly guy coming in, and I thought everyone would be nice because we're all musicians, but it doesn't always work that way. People sometimes are built differently, they're trained differently. Cultural wise is also a very important aspect. Where you were born, where you were raised, and the peers that they were raised with. So all of this was pretty new to me, and I didn't realize how toxic jealousy can be. And I've seen it with other colleagues where they push down other people down, and they can be cause drama, and it's not healthy. And they may not have realized it at that time because we were all so young. This was like 18, 19-year-olds. We're like at the end of our teenage years. So we haven't fully matured yet. So in that instance, experience grows with time. And the more you experience it and the more you handle it and face it on your own, the more that you're going to be able to control your jealousy. And Michelle, you have a very good way to handle with jealousy, because I believe from when I last spoke with you, you said you can unlearn jealousy.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. because I study lots of like SEL, which is like social and emotional learning. I do this a lot. This actually unlearned jealousy is related to neuroscience. Okay, I hope I can put it perfectly, but I'm not a scientist, okay? Let me just put it in a musician way. All right, so it's actually related to dementia. Do you know dementia? Like when you get old, you forget things.
Right, right.
So in our brain, there's a part called amygdala. And then that part is gonna in control of learning, accepting, receiving knowledges in different aspects. And then from dementia, scientists notice that we actually will automatically delete something that if we don't use it anymore. So it's like we have this built-in system that can help us delete whatever we don't like. Yes. So, and the scientists in social intelligence, like EQ, the area, they develop, maybe for emotional intelligence, we can use the same thing. Like, we have learned so many emotions, good or bad, positive and negative. But we can use the same thing to unlearn those negative or the things that we don't like. And it takes time to unlearn things, just as how we learn things like muscle memory. Sometimes if we take in too much, like consciously or subconsciously, it takes longer to unlearn it, but it's a process. Always, I think we can just be positive at it and just try it.
Wow, that's so much to take in. It's like you're going from this entire list, and I'm trying to write this down on my brain. I should actually be taking notes from you. You know?
No. Okay, I'll give a handout. No.
I'm sure our listeners here are really taking in everything you're saying. Even me, in my stage of I'm still learning as a doctoral student. There's just so many things that schools can't teach you, and you have to really learn that from experience. Yes. Right? All three of us here have experienced different times in schools, different people, different environments. Like it took Jeremy a long time to finish his bachelor. He didn't intend to do that, right?
Right.
So it's like sometimes things go in a very unexpected ways, and being able to tackle that challenge is the the answer. Is if you can overcome an obstacle such as jealousy, it will serve you very well in the long run, because then your overcomingness of the jealousy will influence others. And when they see that their own jealousy is not healthy towards others, they themselves begin to change. So it's just like a domino effect.
I love it. Good way to put it. Yes, I hope everybody could find what like triggers them to be jealous and then work on the triggers so they don't like spread the jealousy, the germ to others.
Right. Jealousy is a very contagious, how should I say, it's not a type of germ or bacteria, but it's a trait. Jealousy is a trait that everyone possesses.
Yes.
And if you're able to use it in a positive way, then you are successful. Jeremy, do you have anything else to add?
Not now.
Oh wow, he's just overwhelmed by Michelle's topic on jealousy here.
No, Jeremy, come on. Okay, I will give you a question.
Oh wow, we're put under the test now. But
Yes. Okay, it's my turn to ask you questions. Okay, would you consider yourself an optimistic? Oh my goodness. Sorry about it. Optimistic.
You're very popular. You know, like that. Those phone calls, they may be trying to go into this feed, and they're saying, "Oh, I want to learn about jealousy. Let me just try to call Michelle over the podcast."
You are so good at it, Alex. I love it. Now I don't feel embarrassed anymore. I own the stage. Thank you, Alex.
You're very welcome.
Okay, going back to the question. So, would you consider yourself optimistic or pessimistic? Or something called Stockdale paradox, which is like a little bit of both. Like you know the brutal reality, but still keeping a good faith.
Well,
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I think I'm both actually.
Wow, look at that cute doggy.
Oh,
Now the dog wants to learn about jealousy.
oh my, what's the name of your puppy?
It's Kyle. Kyle.
Kyle?
What kind of puppy is
A
it?
mini poodle.
Oh wow.
Oh, poodle could be very needy. Jeremy, watch out.
For those who are listening on the podcast and not able to see the poodle, it's quite cute. It's white and it's not too big, and it fits in Jeremy's laps. Okay, back to the answering the question, Jeremy.
Right. So we were saying I would say I'm a bit of both actually. I guess maybe on the outside, I try to seem more optimistic too. And of course, I try to think more optimistic too. But I guess you always have a negative feeling. And I wouldn't say it's bad either, because I feel it's those negative feelings that makes you more motivated to do things. And I think if you're too positive, you don't try to fix things. You don't try to improve on things. So, right. So I feel that, of course, it's not good to be always negative, because that's also, it can hurt you too. But if you're positive, too positive, you don't try to change things that you need to change.
That's right. Yeah, you just remind me, you're like a German philosopher, Nietzsche. Like what he said, what doesn't defeat you makes you stronger. This is exactly what you just said. And I can tell you are a very dedicated musician. I can tell you work really hard and you don't give a what to anything that's around you. Okay, for those of you who are listening, Jeremy has got muscles, okay?
Oh yeah, Jeremy is quite an athlete. If you are listening on this podcast, and if you want to see what Jeremy's muscles are like, you can just go on YouTube and just search our video. But I think Jeremy, both as a musician and athlete, it really coincides with one another. You truly try hard in both, and right. as a personal friend and colleague of yours, I've seen it, and we always have very fun discussions about bulking and eating and want to get big. You have that motivation, but you always have something in the back of your head, like you were saying. You can't be too positive.
Right.
What do you play, Jeremy? What sports do you do?
Oh, I do tennis, and I used to do swimming too.
Oh, that makes sense. Very strong. Wow.
Yeah, Jeremy, my answer to that question is very similar to Jeremy too. I may be more on the optimistic side, but it is always healthy to look at certain scenarios. You can't be too positive and too optimistic about everything, because if something happens and it doesn't go your way, you might go down the pit, and it'll be very hard to get out because your expectations for something wasn't fulfilled. So it's balance of both things, good and bad, and being able to channel that into your own inner self is very, very healthy, because you don't want to put yourself into a position where, things are not going to go my way, I'm not even going to try. That's very demotivating, right? And many people struggle with that. It's the self-esteem, and this will probably be in another podcast. But if you think you cannot do something, but you also don't even try, then you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That saying goes for so many things. But as long as you try your best and you have a very positive outlook and you really do your best and it doesn't go your way, it's just not meant to be.
But I think there's also those kind of people who they achieve something, but even if they achieve something, they still think negative and say, "Oh, it's not good enough. It's not." That's also not good too, I think, because you can't always be satisfied, but you have to be satisfied with some things. And then I think that kind of feeling also helps you grow too.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Wow, it's so great that all three of us are able to, transform and share this wonderful energy of under Michelle for learning jealousy and how to control it, what the downside effects, what you can do to improve on yourself. And you're listing so many of these things. As I said, I should have been taking notes because it's just a lot of information. But it's so wonderful, to have you with us on Pianolin TV, and I'm really looking forward to having more further discussions with you and having you back, because I believe that you have so much to share with the world, and especially your energy, your positive energy, the way that you talk and the way you present yourself, the way you you teach, and I believe everyone should call you Dr. Michelle Ding.
Oh, Alex, you're way too sweet.
No, I'm being honest, and I'm pretty sure our listeners here are very appreciative of your time and efforts into sharing everything with us today. So me and Jeremy, both of us would like to give you our biggest thanks for being here today.
I'm so grateful and thankful too. I love the variety and different colors, aspects of the topics that you both brought. And Jeremy, you're like a philosopher, to be honest. And Alex, you're like, a smooth talker, but you are like so critical about everything.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is something new, and sometimes we need a fresh perspective, right? And I feel like the pandemic has hit so many people in so many different ways.
Yes.
And we need something to just give out our energy, share it. People have been isolated. People have not been able to do the things they want to do. They're deprived of so many different things. So this podcast is, for me and Jeremy, we came up with this idea to really help people have speakers just like you, to really share, what their expertises are in. And I believe that, Michelle, you have fulfilled. You fulfilled our needs and wants, and I believe our listeners too.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thank
Love you guys. I'll make a heart.
Heart time.
Yes.
Wow, Jeremy's so big he cannot even make a heart on this.
Oh my God, double-sized heart. Oh my goodness, can't take it.
Well, thank you for everyone for joining us today on Pianolin TV. Whether you're watching on YouTube, if you're liking what you're seeing, what you're hearing, everything combined, please like, share. The comment box is below if you have any questions. If you have any questions for Michelle, please leave them there too, and I'll relate them to her. Maybe she'll be able to answer your questions. And if you're listening on our podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, they're all there. Please follow us. We're going to be having more talented and extraordinary guests on our podcast in the future. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.